Hello, casting directors. My name is Chiara Purcell. I am 29 years old and I'm from Perth, Western Australia. I did manage to see what Miles had actually put as his audition video, and I think that by the video I originally had submitted, it wouldn't make the cut. The video that actually got him cast, got him onto the show, and then ultimately to win was one that was much more face-to-face. So that's what I kind of wanted to quickly put out there and hope, fingers crossed, that you see this and that you are still considering me. So anyway, about myself. I basically live in Palmyra and I live here with my little boy who's 10 years old and my mum, and she is a psychologist. She is a clin psych and she's the reason that I got into psychology in the first place. I have always had a interest in the human mind, I suppose is one way to say it. A little bit more out of necessity than out of actual interest when I was younger. Fitting in wasn't obviously a easy thing to do, especially with, red hair. Anyway, you kind of are born to stand out if you want to or not. You kind of have to grow some thick skin. So growing up, I had to learn very quickly because I was kind of like a theatre kid, I suppose. I used to sing and dance all the time, and I used to also love sport. And I learned really quickly that I can't just talk all the time. People don't like that. So I learned very quickly how to manipulate, how to suppress, how to act a certain way so that I could be socially accepted. And I was able to do this so well that I learned how to kind of alter things so that I'll be able to not just fit in, but actually make connections with people. And I've been doing that my whole life. And I think a lot of my actual grit and determination to do that has become because of my real life. When I was growing up, I really loved field hockey. I got into it because my brother was playing it, and I think at about 11 years old is when I actually started. I took a liking, weirdly enough, to being a goalkeeper. I absolutely loved it. It was something that I was good at, and I found that I really liked being good at things. I'm really competitive. I have the physical strength. I usually am always described as being way stronger than any man anyone knows. So by me being a goalkeeper and having to have that discipline throughout my whole childhood, throughout getting state selections, throughout getting different awards, different kind of, achievements and stuff at such a young age. I was only 18 when I fell pregnant, and that was at the same time that I was looking at the next Olympics. That was the aim, and that was for Rio. So unfortunately, along with sport and the discipline and the strength required, the dedication, the physical torment, the injuries, the self-care, I think that on top of all of those kind of physical traits and stuff with it, the disappointment comes as well. And there is times where you won't be selected to play certain games, you won't be selected to go on certain tours, certain things, and there's disappointment with that. And I think being able to pick yourself up and push forward through that disappointment is a huge part, and I think that would play a huge role in Survivor, because at the end of the day, a lot of it is just an emotional game. Humans are emotional creatures, and we end up having all these huge emotions that we don't know how to deal with. And when it comes to being hungry, being away from your friends and family, being away from your normal routine, your normal contact, on top of that, not knowing if you can trust your actual friend next to you and stuff, it ends up being, very much a psychological game. So the actual survival modes that I've been put through, the trials and tribulations, if you will, that I've had to go through in my own personal life have definitely kind of shaped who I am, and they've shaped the way that I have to deal with situations. But on the plus side, it has made me the perfect candidate to go into Survivor. And being able to perform under those pressures physically is what will actually determine a lot of your success with your physical aspect of your gameplay. So one thing I really found interesting was sports psychology. And I found that what was really interesting is that physically, you can get a player to play the same game twice, but then one of the times you just have to alter their actual brain state and put some doubt in them, self-confidence issues in there, and suddenly the whole game falls apart. But physically, they're able to play the same game, but they can't anymore. And I used to use that tactic all the time when I did hockey. I used to psych them out, because as soon as you embed like a little bit of doubt or a little seed, you put that into their brain and it's there. Once you've verbalized it, it's there no matter what. And it is up to the person themselves and how they deal with that. And I have learned how to completely deflect any kind of things like that, because when I was younger, I was really counted as sensitive, and things like that would then destroy me and be your downfall. And I think that most normal people probably haven't had to go through the same kind of things that would then give them this skill, I suppose, or this survival technique. I think that that would be a really big bonus for me. I would be able to implant that little seed into their brain, and I would be able to deflect anything that they tried to put into mine. I feel like I would be very confident physically, being able to actually perform well under that kind of pressure, under that kind of different environment. You've got cameras on you and everything like that. I'm used to having cameras on me for hockey. I was used to having all this kind of attention and being selected and watched by a panel of people from 3 different angles, scrutinizing everything. And then I learned how to deal with the disappointment. I learned how to deal with criticism. I learned how to deal with other people's emotions. And I think that that is something that most people wouldn't have had to deal with in their life unless they were like on Dance Mums or something along those lines. I feel like that is something that I'll be able to bring to the game. I'm also really lively, and I'm really, really good at picking up people's kind of spirits when they're down. I think that having someone there to lean on and having a confidant is a big thing. And people, when they feel like they trust you, they'll open up to you. You need to be making the moves that Kaylin didn't make, but you need to be at the same time playing it smart. And I think that it would make really good TV as well as really good gameplay to have me on, so I can help show you guys what is going on inside their heads. Let's make it fun. Thank you guys. I hope to hear back from you soon.